Initiatives like Innovation Day will aggressively help percolate the concepts and opportunities that India offers in the field of startup and entrepreneurship among the masses. It will also help us to convey all that new ideas need to be celebrated and supported, which is very critical for establishing innovation and entrepreneurial ecosystem within our education institutions. A nationwide campaign was launched a couple of years back by MHRD's Innovation Cell and AICTE to celebrate October 15th as Innovation Day. All higher education institutions were requested to undertake activities related to innovation and startup. They are also asked to conduct various activities in the nearby institutions. The activities such as idea competitions, hackathons, best innovative practices, innovation, innovators, successful startups, and incubation facilities. So this is the concept of why we are all here. And the Siddhartha Engineering College is celebrating that Innovation Day today. And from our college and for nearby colleges, we got over 200 entries exhibiting, they're ready to exhibit their models, innovative ideas. May I now request Dr. A.V. Ratnaprasad Garu to give a brief note on today's occasion. And before that, I invite all the heads, deans, and the respected participants here to pay tribute to the great humanitarian Bharat Ratna Dr. ABJ Abdul Kalam Garu by garlanding. I welcome you all, sir, to pay the tribute.
Good morning. Hello.
Good morning to one and all. I'm thankful for everyone present over here for giving me this beautiful opportunity to share my words about the most amazing person that ever lived, Bharat Ratna Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam Garu. It is indeed rare for the world to witness a leader who is intelligent, wise, selfless, and loved by all. Awul Pakir Jainul Abdin Abdul Kalam was one such leader. Furthermore, he was a man who has a strong appeal among the masses. His political stature is way above the discriminatory line of caste and religion. APJ Abdul Kalam came into this world on 15th October 1931, at a time when India was under British occupation. He was born to a Tamil Muslim family in Tamil Nadu. His father was a boat owner while his mother was a housewife. Kalam Garu had 5 siblings and was the youngest of the lot. In school, Kalam was an average student but was still hardworking and bright. I think this certainly is a great motivation for all the average students out there. Being average, you must never ever underestimate yourself and continue doing the hard work. In Kalam's words, all of us do not have equal talent, but all of us have an equal opportunity to develop our talents. In the year 1960, APJ Abdul Kalam's graduation took place from Madras Institute of Technology. The association of Kalam took place with the Defence Research and the Development Service. He joined as a scientist at the Aeronautical Development Establishment of the Defence Research and Development Organization. These were the biggest beginnings achievements of his prestigious career as a scientist. Big accomplishment Big accomplishment for Kalam came when he was the project director at ISRO of India's first ever satellite launch vehicle, SLV-3. This satellite was responsible for the deployment of the Rohini satellite in 1980. Moreover, Kalam was highly influential in the development of Polar satellite launch vehicle and SLV projects. Both projects were successful, bringing enhancement in the reputation of Kalam. The development of ballistic missiles was possible because of the efforts of this man. Most noteworthy, Kalam earned the esteemed title of the Missile Man of India. Kalam wrote several books, including an autobiography, Wings of Fire, in 1999. Among his numerous awards were two of the country's highest honors, the Padma Vibhushan in 1990 and the Bharat Ratna in 1997. The government of India became aware of this brilliance of this man and made him the chief executive of the Integrated Guided Missiles Development Program. The achievements of this distinguished man didn't stop there. During his tenure in IGMDP, Kalam played an instrumental role in the developments of missiles like Agni and Prithvi. He was a key figure in the Pokhran II nuclear test. The honor of being the 11th President of India went to APJ Abdul Kalam Garu. This marked another tremendous feat in his already venerable career. The Indian people have a huge affection for this man. Consequently, he was known as the People's President. While delivering a lecture at the Indian Institute of Management, Shillong, Kalam collapsed and died from an apparent cardiac arrest on 27 July 2015 at an age 83. The entire nation reacted to his death with grief. Kalam was a great asset to India. Leaders keep on coming and going. Everyone in a while we come across someone as preeminent as Kalam. His name will certainly go down in history as one of the greatest presidents that India has ever seen. People will also remember him as a brilliant scientist. The man was a precious gem for each and every Indian. If you fail, never give up, because fail means first attempt in the learning. Thank you.
Thank you, Rupa, for your detailed introduction to the great humanitarian Kalam Garu. May I now request our principal, Dr. A.V. Ratnaprasad Garu, to give a message on this occasion.
Respected the chief guest of the Innovation Day at VR Siddharth Engineering College, Sri L. Srinigaru, ITS, Director, Department of Telecommunications, Department of Telecommunications, Ministry of Communications and IT, members of Academy, Sri N. Venkateswara Garu, President, Sri P. Lakshmanrao Garu, Secretary of the Academy, Sri M. Raji Garu, Vice President of the Academy and Convener of Velagapudi Ramakrishna Siddhartha Engineering College, the coordinator of this program, Dr. P.V. Subbai Garu, Professor and Head, Department of Electronics and Communication Engineering, Deans, Heads of Departments, and other colleagues, and my dear beloved students. Good morning to everybody, and welcome to the Innovation Day celebrations organized by Velagapudi Ramakrishna Siddhartha Engineering College to commemorate the birth anniversary of the great personality, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, Bharat Ratna Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. I need not talk much about Dr. Kalam because he was very much familiar in interacting with students across the globe. Not only in India, he visited many countries, interacted with students, interacted with faculty members, interacted with young citizens of the countries. Because of his personality, because of the interest to develop the nation into this 21st century, way back in 1998 itself, he developed the Vision 2020 for our Bharat. How we have to make this country self-reliant, how we have to make this country self-sustained. He thought of way back in 1998 itself, being the scientific advisor to Government of India. He came from a very humble, small, poor family. So I need not give the entire biography of the Kalam at this moment. He is a teacher. He worked as a professor in a university and also in an IIT. He is a scientist. He is a missile man of this country. He developed by involving directly as a project leader many missiles as a part of DRDO and ISRO projects. Over and above, he is a great humanitarian of this country, great citizen of this country. We have to learn a lot from him. That is, probably most of you might have gone through the books of him like Wings of Fire, or many more books he has written. Some of you might have read the books written by him. If not done till date, I request all of you to read the autobiography of Kalam and as well as some of the books written by him. The basic motto behind all these books is to bring out the inherent talent hidden in all the young students of this country, and they have to make this country to prosper over and above the other countries across the globe. So if you listen to any speech given by the Kalam, naturally you will become the fan of Kalam. Automatically he will fully concentrate word by word whatever he is delivering from his mouth. He is such a kind of person who will continuously encourage, motivates the young people. So it is really a fortunate day for all of us. The Government of India has recognized his birthday as the National Innovation Day. Of course, the government a couple of years back has launched this Innovation Day through MHRD under Institute Innovation Council of the for every institution as well as at the entire national level. At the same point of time, with the kind of vision he has got, even the United States of America also declared today as the National Students' Day after his departure from this earth. Similarly, the government of Switzerland also declared today as the National Science Day. You can imagine what kind of greatness the Kalam has got. Not only in our country, the other countries also following his messages, following the greatness of the personality, following the visionary thoughts of Dr. Kalam, they themselves have declared National Students' Day and National Science Day. Probably after Mahatma Gandhi, after Swami Vivekananda, we have not seen them, but we have seen Kalam. So definitely, it is a great opportunity for all of us, particularly for the young students, to work hard, to spend their time, to bring their innovative thoughts onto a single platform and find out some solutions to the poor citizens of this country, some solutions to the agriculture sector of this country, some solutions to the health and medical necessities of these small children and old people. So that is only possible. That is only possible if you guys involve, spend time with dedication, determination, passion, commitment, and over and above, many times he used to tell, don't worry about failures. Many times, whenever he interact with his own scientists in either ISRO or DRDO, or whenever he deliver a speech to his students, he will always say that don't worry about your failures. Whenever you are trying for success, whenever you are continuing your journey for success, failures will come. But don't worry about them. Don't stop there. You please continue your journey so that finally you must achieve the success. That is why he always encourages students to dream big. To dream big, that means you should not stop your education with a simple employment. You must become a leader. You must bring this country up. You must become an entrepreneur. You must start a kind of startup. That means you must provide employment to other poor citizens of this country. Being a student of this higher education institution, being a student of this well-established Siddhartha Engineering College, after graduation, at least some of you, you must not only seek for employment, you must also think of establishing a startup, establishing a industry through this innovation and incubation activities. So that is why we have set up pre-incubation centers in every department of the institution in collaboration with the industry. So sufficient support in terms of finances, ideas by involving the industry experts, ideas by involving the senior faculty of the department will always be given to the interesting students and their groups in the college. So there is no necessity of worrying about the finance. If you got any innovative idea, please come out, spend time. You can take it till the end of your final year project. You can start from second year onwards. We have introduced to give more weightage to innovation. We have introduced engineering project in community services in the second year itself. That is the name of the course is EPICS. So there is no end for innovation. Similarly, there is no limit for supporting your innovative ideas on behalf of the college. So, sky is the limit for you. Only thing is, you keep on recalling the words from the message given by the Dr. Kalam. Keep on recalling the words given by him. Because you can understand from where he has come. He came from a small place, Rameswaram, Tamil Nadu. You just read his autobiography again and again, so that automatically you will get the clarity in your mind. How a great man will come out. It is not with money. It is not with money. It is your desire to become a great personality. It is your desire to come out with a solution, come out with a new product which will be useful for the country. See, a person working as a professor, working as a scientist in a government organization, including the present government of the country and the then opposition party, both of them, they recognized his services and made him unanimously the President of India. You can imagine what kind of qualities the Kalam has got. Probably after independence, this kind of selection might not have happened. Both opposition and the running government, both of them have supported his candidature for the position of President of India. He has received Padma Bhushan, Padma Vibhushan, and the ultimate award, the gem of the country, that is Bharat Ratna. Because he is a selfless person, he is a bachelor. How much sacrifice he has made, you can imagine. Morning to evening, without expecting anything for his own or for his family, he worked hard. You can imagine 3 decades back, before 2000, you can think of the position of the space research, the defense capability of this country. You can imagine. Now we can compare with the rest of the world where we are. So this happened because of the visionary thought, visionary commitment, and visionary support, and visionary document created by him on behalf of the government of India. He traveled from the beginning of his life to the end of his life till his last speech given at IIM Shillong. He traveled with the same face, same kind of mindset, same kind of thought, same kind of determination, and same kind of interest to interact with the young people of this country, wherever the time has facilitated, wherever the opportunity has come. The basic motive behind his mind is making the citizens, making the young students as great scientists, great innovators, great thought makers, great entrepreneurs who will be useful for the development of this nation. So because I have recently gone through one of the small book given to me as a part of so many programs organized in our institution. Normally whenever I found some time, I have gone through his biography. It really great. You will get tears from your eyes. Such a kind of great person. We always feel that we having so many comforts also, we feel that I don't have this, I don't have that. You can compare Kalam with Kalam. How great person he is. So when you always think of such kind of persons, automatically your mindset, your attitude, your commitment, your goals will also change. When you change that, automatically, whatever you feel in your mind, you will be able to achieve. That is a success. That is success. Success means success is there in your mind only. In your thought process, success is there. So, if you want to meet that success, achieve that success, You follow the so many speeches given by the Kalam. You follow the so many proverbs, quotations given by Kalam. Automatically, I am telling you, you also will be one of the great successful citizens of this country. With these few words, once again, I thank all the Dr. Sinu Garu, who accepted as the chief guest for the Innovation Day of Elagapudi Ramakrishna Siddhartha Engineering College to commemorate the 89th birth anniversary of Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, Bharat Ratna Dr. Kalam, and my colleagues, deans, heads of departments, and over and above the coordinators and faculty and staff who supported the Department of Electronics and Communication Engineering to make this program a grand success by what you call that through by virtual mode, by arranging and connecting all the students of second year. Thank you, Ananda.
Thank you very much, sir, for all the inspired thoughts of Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam Garu you have narrated. Thank you very much. I now request Ms. Maunika, Assistant Professor, EC Department, to give the brief introduction to our today's chief guest, Sri L. Srinu Garu.
Honorable dignitaries and most valued guests, it's my tremendous honor to introduce our guest of honor for today's innovation program. We are indeed privileged to have Director ITS, Department of Telecommunications, Sri L. Srinu Garu, as our chief guest. Sri L. Srinu Garu completed his graduation in the stream of Electronics and Communication Engineering from Osmania University of Engineering College, Hyderabad, in the year of 1987 to 91. He selected to Indian Telecommunication Services through UPSC Engineering Service exams. Sri L. Srinu Garu has also made a mark in BBNL, worked for Bharat Broadband Planning Implementation Project, and worked as area manager in BSNL Vijayawada. And also he worked in ECIL from 1992 to 93 and worked in several prominent states like Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh and Northeast. It's our proud privilege to have him as a chief guest. Thank you.
I request Sri L. Srinu Garu to give his message on today's occasion.
Thank you, Madam, Dr. Padmaja Garu. And is my voice audible? Hello? Can somebody confirm? Am I audible? Hello?
Yes, sir. Continue.
Thank you. Thank you. At the outset, my sincere thanks and appreciation to VR Siddhartha Group of Institutions Management, Sri Venkateswarlu Garu, Lakshman Rao Garu, Rajay Garu, and Honorable Principal of the College, Ratna Prasad Garu, distinguished faculty members, heads of departments, and deans. This is indeed a privilege for me to be a part of this program, the August gathering on the 89th birth anniversary of our late Honorable Bharat Ratna Dr. Sri APJ Abdul Kalam Garu. I would like to start with, we were very fortunate enough that we have lived in the time of great people like Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam Garu. Our principal has rightly pointed, United Nations, in the fond memory of our late president, has declared October 15th as a World Students' Day. As a student, any person who has got urge to learn new things, be any field, is a student. So overall, it is a day for every one of us. Generally, I try to do my extemper, but this today I thought let me prepare something from the history and the current position of the society. So I thought let me something I'll read out from my prepared speech for the first time. As rightly pointed out, inventions. Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam Garu, he visited Vijayawada during 2006 to interact with school children and some programs in Vijayawada and West Godavari district. So we had an opportunity to serve him, and we were very closely with that program. I had an opportunity as an area manager. It was indeed my privilege to be at that moment. And coming to the today's this thing, Innovation Day celebrations for the young minds. He is always cheerful, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam Garu, and try to spend most of his time with students and to enthrall their thinking and innovative ideas. And he was fondly, when somebody was asked him a question, how he wants to be remembered as a president, as a scientist, as a missile man. His reply was, I wanted to be remembered as a teacher. Such a noble personality, having scaled to the heights of Everest Mount, he was very simple and humble. And we are celebrating his birthday as Innovative Day to enthrall the minds of the young generation to work for more and more innovations for useful for the society. What exactly innovation defines? Is there any definite definitions for that? One can say no. By and large, any innovation is a creation of a new thing which gives a relief or a convenience or simplifies the lives of a common man of a society is an innovation. For example, I'll take example from the none other than our late President Sri APJ Abdul Kalam Garu. When he was a chief of DRDO at Hyderabad in early 90s, I believe. We were also in Hyderabad. They have developed a lightweight calipers for polio affected children with the help of NIMS, Nizam Institute of Medical Sciences. There were calipers available in the market, but the calipers were very heavy in weight, some 2-3 kgs. From that point, they have used there were a lot of discussions. And finally, the defense research scientists and the doctors, they have come to a solution by using the glass polypropylene material used in missiles, a lightweight material to make the calipers. And they were launched in several places. Even today, they are being used. The calipers has become so cheap and it's very lightweight, not even half a kg. And it has a great innovation in that time because lot of children and people, those who are affected with polio, were able to walk. Such an innovation should take place. Similarly, the bypass surgeries in early 90s, bypass surgeries were very complicated issues. Only bypass surgeries are used to make. There were no stents, but it was a very, during that time only the development stage, and the stents were very, very costly, more than 2 lakhs like that. And with the help of NIMS, Dr. Sri APJ Abdul Kalam, the Honorable President, at that time he was chief of DRDO, developed a stunt. It is called Abdul Kalam Raju stunt. You can refer into the Google. You will see very easily all these things. So why I am mentioning these things means the young generation should think and do anything which creates a new thing, which simplifies the life of a common man. Today, we can see the society, there are so many major issues. Out of that, I will take one or two issues and I'll try to explain. Main thing is healthcare. As our Ratna Prasad Garu already mentioned, the healthcare is one of the important facility to the public, because out of 130 crore population in India, not even 10% of the people are affordable to the good medical healthcare systems, where young minds can work for simplifying the healthcare systems. And similarly, there are so many villages still in India without power supply. The green power, the power is becoming, generation of the power is becoming very costly, because of not only costly, it is polluting our atmosphere by burning the fossil fuel. Except whenever ample quantity of water is there, we can do the hydel power generation, where it's a green energy. We can generate power through solar systems. We can generate power windmills, but at present they are not matured enough. So the people can work, students can work in these kind of areas. They can completely break through some small inventions. When I was in area manager in rural area, the 8 hours power supply was not used to be there. During 2003 or 4, if you take, you go back, now today we are in a very comfortable position as a urban conglomeration with all latest amenities available at our doorstep. But the situation before 20 years is not like this. If you see our generation, probably 50 years and above people, they know the difficulties, right from traveling, power supply in the rural area, power supply in the urban area, banking sector, healthcare sectors. Today is unimaginable from the 20 years, 30 years back, if you take the situation and today's situation, because those days they used power supply. We used to put some solar panels on the telephone exchanges and run the exchanges in the rural area. Innovations have to take place. Very small things. We have not done any great thing there. There were solar panels are available. We have took them. We have studied how to install, and we have done something, and it has given the power for uninterrupted supply to provide for an effective communication in the rural area. I worked in very far-flung places. The real difficulties in providing communication is very difficult, because communication is one of the tool. A survey has been conducted some 10-15 years back, 12 years back exactly, and the World Bank has come up with a proposal that the 10% of internet penetration in the rural area will give a turnout of 1.8 GDP percent growth rate. You imagine, as a whole nation, it develops with a penetration of the broadband. Why broadband is so required in the rural area? You take the present pandemic situation. All software jobs people have been migrated to their villages, the root places. The villages are powered with good power, internet connectivity to work. Everybody is talking of work from home. It's such a nice, evaluation has taken place due to this pandemic. Maybe otherwise nobody could have thought of. So the providing communication in the rural area is a very challenging one. How we can do it? How we can provide a faster communications in the far-flung places, for socio-economic development of the people. You take a situation where banking sector used to be about 30, 35 years back. It was a manual working, everything. The computers have been brought in. It is a revolutionary change. All the accounts started computerized. In subsequently, even in 95, 98, internet connections, what we are enjoying today, the high-speed internet connections, there used to be only 2 kb, 5 kb, 10 kb, 15 kb speed. That itself is a very, very high speed those days. In the introduction of broadband internet services, there is a revolutionary change in the working of banking sector, various sectors. You take any sector, reservations of the railway reservation platforms. Earlier, people can appreciate my point. We used to see big queues in the railway stations for getting the tickets reservation. Today, you can do in your home, in your bedroom, at any time. That is the technical innovation taken place, which has simplified the lives of the public, common public. Any person, anything, that is why. There are so many other things. Agricultural, innovations in agricultural sector, because the growing population, the growing needs of food grains should be improved. We have only limited land in our country, but our generation, population is increasing day by day. In order to increase the production, what we have to do? We have to do certain innovative things. Technology should be used for making the innovations. I happened to had an interaction with one agriculture officer some 4 years back. He was mentioning to me, sir, though I am a scientist working as a agricultural officer for a district, I am nothing in front of the farmer. They are the real scientists. They are the real people who are doing innovations in farming. So much of he was telling. Otherwise, how can we feed the growing population? The land is same, land is not growing, population is growing, our needs are growing, but cultivation is same. But they have manifolded the production by taking small things like polyhouse farming, drip irrigation system. Drip irrigation system is one of the good system developed, because to use the scarcity of water effectively and manifold, use it very properly, so that production can come, so that the food grains will become, when there is a plant, when there is plenty of food, the price will come down. Affordability should be there. When anything, when demand is high and production is less, the cost will be very high. When there is a demand, when there is a product in plenty, then it will be. Then only the equitable distribution and socio-economic growth takes place. Similarly, using technology for poverty eradication. The world over, the problem is with hunger. At least in Indian context, we are bit of saving economy when compared with our Western brotherhoods. They spend the money, whatever they get, within no time, and they start hunting for food grains. Where in our culture is something different. We are right from the beginning, we are saving economy. We store food grains, we save money for our future generations. It's a good kind of, and these kind of things are being emulated by other countries. I happen to see so many places, including Northeast, where there is no food grains, where there is no, because it is because of the hilly terrain, they don't get much this thing, and livestock is very, very difficult. Whether you travel for traveling or medical education or education system, anything, So we have to, the technology should prevail upon such that there should be some innovations which can make the life of the common man very simple. You see, there is an amazing this thing. Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam sir has a vision for medical healthcare systems, telemedicine. At present, I had an opportunity to interact with the Tata Foundation for their rural healthcare. They have set up a central headquarters at Vijayawada. There are small dispensaries across the state. And you know, they have installed a very beautiful room with a powerful camera and a TV screen. Any patient comes over there, one nurse will be there, they will be explaining, and through the technology of internet, the doctor sitting at Vijayawada can see the patient, can interact with the patient in a proper way and suggest the medicine. Then the common man need not travel to the urban areas to a specialist. There are a couple of specialists will be sitting at central headquarters. This is an innovative idea. It has made the common public life very simple. Immediate respite will be given to them. You are the young students, young minds with countless of knowledge, with profound thinking. You people can think of anything. Basically, the innovations come from the cultural backgrounds only, because the institutions are the congregation of so many students and super brains, everything. A person from different culture, different geographical area, different backgrounds comes and congregates in one place, share their ideas, will give different problems. Then the solution will come up. That is why Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam told the innovations will come from cultural excellence. This is the truth. We can see and perceive the big institutions like world institutions, how they have become so great. There is nothing like, greatness there. All are common brains. Only thing is that they come from different countries, different cultures, different issues, different backgrounds, and they share the culture, the issues. Then only the solution will come out. That is the greatness of the institution. So, as an institutions are the main innovation hubs. That is why the government of India has taken, under Ministry of Science and Technology, has set up an incubation hub for innovations, and it is being emulated by all the state governments. The state governments, MSMEs, in the form of MSMEs, and now putting up the small incubation system for the young minds. A small idea can change your life. This is a great thing. Only thing is that should be relevant to the time, relevant to the problem, relevant to the public of that area. Then on, it will have an amazing impact on that. Similarly, this thing is providing affordable communication. I was happened to be in Northeast. Traveling Northeast is a very difficult task. You are allowed to travel in a particular time only. If you are going to the other end and not able to return by that time, your highway, everything will be closed. It's an opportunity I received, that's all. There is nothing great with me. We were executing a project called Bharat Broadband Network there. I, as a opportunity, trial was there. So we had an interaction one day with Delhi headquarters. The other end is Sam Petroda, Nandan Nilekhani, the great personalities were sitting. The other end, at far-flung place, one DM, myself, and some other people, dignitaries were there. Then we were interacting in video conference. Then DM has told, sir, our speed is very limited. Then Sam Petroda asked, what is your speed? I told, sir, 10 MB we are giving. 10 MB is very quite good bandwidth. DM, what are you doing? Do you have any application to run, utilize this bandwidth? That was his question. Then he told, you see, your area is a very far-flung area. You have to identify the requirements of the public as a individuals and try to implement such things so that this will be utilized. Such as the directions. So great people, we need not bother about, I don't have, as Ratna Prasad sir told exactly, we need not have, because olden days people used to walk. Today, we used to walk to our school for kilometers together, 3 to 4 kilometers every day, go in the morning, come back in the evening. But today, children has got air-conditioned buses, affordable people. The situation has been changed over a period of time because of so many expansions, innovations done by the great people. We may not be, everybody may not be remembered like a big person, but your contribution as an individual who has given you so much of opportunity to this society, to you should pay back to the society. Need not be free of cost. You should do something. It's a good thing, a creation which gives relief to the public. It is very, very great thing we have accomplished. For me, I have a lot of satisfaction. I would like to share you one of my experience. When I was area manager in Vijayawada, we used to travel extensively the Krishna district. And one time we happened to travel a very far-flung place, a village in Tiruvur block. There was no communication facility. The villagers came, when we went there, villagers came and they were asked, sir, we don't have communication facility. Nobody takes any interest. We are also public of this nation, they told us. Then we have proposed to them, can you give me a small piece of land? Can you give a small piece of land so that we can install a tower and put cell tower? They have readily agreed. They have shown the land there itself. Some 20-30 people had come. And in no time, we have also planned. At that time, there were funds. There is no depth of funds. We have installed and we have commissioned a cell phone tower in that area. After 1 month, a old man along with his grandson has come to us to see our office, and they were telling that, sir, you have installed a cell phone tower in our village. It's a very good thing, sir. My grandson has got job. He has come to home from his institution for a vacation. At the same time, his interview has taken place. He could able to attend the interview using his cell phone, and he got the selection. We thought it's very satisfying thing, because we have not done any great thing. We have just provided a communication, but it has given a lifeline to one young boy. There is immense satisfaction. My guru and philosopher, he was ex-GM, he's no more. He also used to tell me same thing. He was fed up with government working and he resigned. No, he has joined as a lecturer, a principal. He has become a dean of the studies in a remote, and he worked in very far-flung place. Many of your distinguished faculty members may be knowing his name. His name is Bal Gangadhar. He is no more now. But why I am telling, these are the occasions where we can discuss, where we can enumerate the contributions of the great people to enthrill, to encourage the young minds to take up the challenging jobs. It need not be a telecommunication. It can be in agriculture. It can be any power generation. It can be any construction also. We have seen a marvelous construction structure, a unique design in Vijayawada itself, the Durga flyover. Because of the area constraint there, one side water, one side hill, auspicious site. So I was told it's a unique design in India. The flyover construction, pillar constructions. Certain pillars are perpendicular, certain pillars are horizontal. So this is an innovation. The innovation comes from the necessity. Necessity is mother of invention. So that is why people say that. So we'll have to observe our surroundings, observe the requirement of the common public. We have to apply the technology, the whatever knowledge we have gained, we have to apply that, so that if we are able to make a convenience, comfortable, a relief to the common man, it will be a great contribution to the society. If you keep talking like this, there are so many these things, small issues. The only thing we'll have to observe it. We'll have to work cultural excellence. We will have to work together. We have to keep discussing. Then only the new ideas, new things will come up. That the institutions like Siddhartha are the great source of encouragement, a great source of knowledge dissemination, great source of excellence. I had an opportunity with the staff of Siddhartha also 2-3 times. Last year, same month, we were conducting plan to conduct an ISP, Internet Service Provider conference. And we thought of conducting, because of some VIP movement and all, we could not able to come to the college, and we conducted the program in different location. However, at that time, we were seeing that the present the internet service provisioning, not only internet, it's a entertainment. There are so many nowadays. Entertainment has become a very important thing. So like Netflix, Prime Videos, they are all servers. They are kept outside. So we thought of developing a internet exchange, so that as analysis says, 70 to 80% of the traffic generated and terminated for the local requirements only. Only 30% of the traffic will go. That 30% of traffic also, if it goes to the international, there is a lot of expenditure on account of bandwidth. So we thought, why don't we install such a system locally itself, so that the people can be benefited at lower price. It's a good idea, but initial investments are there. People have to work together. We have requested the people, so that HCDNs, the technology is coming up. HCDNs means in the fag end of the place, you give the services as per the requirement of the public. If you take the rural areas, their requirement maybe for day-to-day agriculture requirements, small medical requirements. If you are able to provide by using this technology, it is a great thing. We have achieved a great contribution. We have achieved a great thing to the humanity. So the present inventions like artificial intelligence. Now we are, it may not be out of place. Let me share one of the project which we are undertaking now. In far-flung places in Visakhapatnam district, agency areas, there is no communication. The state government has taken some initiative to keep village volunteers to deliver the government services at doorstep. For that, the state government of India's plan of DBS, direct benefit transfer to the public at doorsteps. Such kind of, there are a lot of initiatives. So if you go through the Digital India website, you can see a lot of initiatives undertaken by the government of India. So government, AP state government, various departments, village panchayat department, they have approached us. We had discussions with them. They were telling that as a government of India, Ministry of Communication, can you provide something relief to these places so that we can provide a communication to the volunteers
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Hello.
Continue. Yes, sir. You
Thank
are
you.
audible.
Thank you. Sorry. There was a power problem and my internet connection everything disturbed. Yeah, I was almost concluding my this thing. So, as a Siddhartha institution, such a institution is a source of innovations and dissemination of the knowledge to the students and fraternity. I once again encourage the boys, young boys and ladies to pursue their career for the cause of the society. Anything small contribution need not be a big one. You may not be a big inventor. Whatever we can do it as a citizen of this country, and you are the future of the this country. And fondly, I had seen one WhatsApp video stating from some US university say that US takes very good automobiles from Japan and so many other issues. And finally, they were telling that we import super brains from the India. The India is in a country in the world is a power of mind, power of knowledge, with the population in the younger population more in number in this world. India will scale to the heights of Mount Everest, as our late President Bharat Ratna Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam's wish, Vision 2020. This year being 2020, he wanted to see India as a powerful country, a developed nation in the world. So it may take some time to give the fruits of science and technology to the common public, but it is the responsibility of the young generation to pursue their career of funds. Institution is ready to give encouragement funds to the innovative students. Anybody, he need not be a super IQ man. Only thing is apply the knowledge whatever we have for the betterment of the society, betterment of the individuals. That itself gives a lot of development to the nation as a society as a whole. So once again, I congratulate, thank you, the fraternity principal and faculty, distinguished faculty and management of Siddhartha institutions for giving me an opportunity to interact with such a outstanding, intelligent gathering on this auspicious day and occasion. I once again thank you, and I conclude my presentation. I thought of giving some PowerPoint presentation, but due to paucity of my work and my personal issues, I could not able to do it. But I look forward to meet children once this pandemic is over and to interact with you all. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. On the behalf of VR Siddhartha Engineering College, deem it a great honor and privilege to stand before you to deliver the vote of thanks. An ignited mind is the most powerful weapon on the planet, and it is got through education. These are the great words said. Maybe that is the reason why our great leader, scientist, and humanitarian, Dr. ABJ Kalam Garu, ignited mostly the young minds with his inspired quotes, motivation to bring up the country in a positive direction. And I feel privileged to be a part of the celebration in our college. First of all, I would like to extend my sincere thanks to L. Srinu Garu for taking time from his busy schedule and being with us and delivering a good message regarding the transformation of the technology and to which extent and what extent the technology can pierce into a common man life and what are all the various applications that can be used by using this technology. Thank you very much, sir, for spending your valuable time being with us and being a part of our celebrations. Thank you so much. I would like to extend my gratitude to our beloved principal, Dr. A.V. Ratnaprasad Garu, for his continuous motivation and encouragement towards working on innovative ideas. It's not only on this particular occasion, but he regularly motivates us and encourages us to be on towards the incubating the ideas, research, patents. This is our regular schedule. I could say that it is a part of our regular work. Thank you very much, sir, for your continuous encouragement and motivation. I would like to thank all our academy members, Sri N. Venkatesul Garu, President, Siddhartha Academy, Sri P. Lakshman Rao Garu, Secretary, and Sri M. Rajay Garu, Vice President of Siddhartha Academy of General and Technical Education. I would like to extend my sincere thanks to all the deans, HODs, professors, faculty, and students, particularly all those who are responsible for organizing this event and making it a grand success. And today's inaugural session ends here, and the rest of the activities like model exhibitions will be conducted department wise within 10 minutes of time. And depending upon the number of participants or number of registrations, 1 or 2 prizes will be, cash prizes will be announced and given to the winners. And I request all the students who are participating, who registered, to go with, to log in with their respective link and ready for presentation. At the end, I would like to thank my head of the department, Dr. P.V. Subbaya Garu, for his continuous motivation and working beyond hours to make it to starting from the inception till the end, and for his efforts and for his encouragement. I thank Dr. P.V. Subbaya. Thank you very much, sir, for making this program a grand success in a good way. Thank you very much.